and welcome to the BioLounge YouTube channel. Please give us the thumbs up if you like our video content. Today I'm here with our clinical nutritionist and functional medicine expert, Megan Barnett. My name is Jeff Grimm, and this is the YouTube channel for BioLounge PDX, Oregon's premier destination for longevity medicine and biohacking. Today, we are going to talk about intermittent fasting, which is just such a great topic. There's so much new research. I know I came from a really big conference that brought in researchers from all over the world last November at USC, which included Rafael de Cabo and Walter Longo and Sachin Panda and all these great world sort of PhD scientists to discuss intermittent fasting. And to kind of kick off this video, I just want to highlight a quick study that was done by Rafael de Cabo, which took two groups of mice. They basically ate the same food, same calories. The only difference really was one group ate over a 2-hour window, the other group ate over a 24-hour window, but at the end of 24 hours, they ate the same amount of food. These are genetically identical mice, and they followed them for their lifespan, which is about 2 years in mice. And the differences between these two groups couldn't be more different despite the fact that they ate the same calories, the exact same food. So group A that ate over a 2-hour window was, healthier, leaner, had less evidence of chronic disease, lived longer. The B group, which ate whenever they want, which is called ad libitum, they ate freely over a long window of time. They developed disease earlier, they didn't age as well, they definitely didn't live as long. And so when researchers saw that published in around 2017, they kind of freaked out and they said, well, what if simply changing the feeding window had a much bigger effect on our health span and longevity than even the food we ate?
Yeah, it's a question that comes up regularly with our clients and patients. Should I intermittent fast? What is intermittent fasting? I think it's interesting to clarify that this term is used regularly now, and there are multiple ways to intermittently fast. There's time-restricted eating, like Jeff was talking about. You're eating the same amount of food, but you're squishing it into a window of maybe 8 hours during the day versus eating over a 12 or 16-hour window of time. That's really effective, and it can reduce inflammation, increase metabolism. There's multiple benefits. Most people report better sleep. And then there's technical intermittent fasting, where you're reducing your caloric intake maybe 2 to 3 days a week down to about 500 calories or so, and also eating within the window of time, but it's calorically restricted. Also, pretty incredible benefits for inflammatory conditions, weight loss, blood sugar regulation, hormone balance, etc. I think we often recommend doing it with the guidance of somebody that's experienced in coaching you through intermittent fasting if you're going to restrict your calories, because there are some conditions where they may be sensitive to intermittent fasting, but in general, the time-restricted eating during the day is safe for everyone.
Yeah, and let's talk about, general health benefits that we observe, but that are also observed in some of the clinical research. A lot of this is preliminary, as these ideas are relatively new to be in vogue in research circles, but let's say over the last few years, some of the things the researchers are finding in humans, if you restrict your feeding window, what kinds of things might be happening, metabolically in the body?
Yeah, there's some great research showing that there's a restructuring of the microbiome, which is interesting, and that's leading to lower inflammatory levels, to increased metabolism, so burning of more calories. Something that I think a lot of people don't know is that the microbiome balance actually will shift how many calories are pulled out of your food and utilized for energy, and how much moves through the system.
Yeah, so there's really positive changes and shifts in the microbiome. There's definitely a decrease in inflammation. There's implications for autoimmune disease and other inflammatory disorders. Clearly, probably the number one thing studied is metabolic disease, diabetes, prediabetes, insulin resistance. And for those folks, because you're restricting your feeding window, you give ample time for levels of glucose and insulin to drop, which really the hallmarks of most chronic disease are associated with chronically elevated levels of glucose and insulin, which we often refer to as kind of glucose dysregulation. So there's this real positive effect on glucose dysregulation, which has ancillary benefits for losing weight and inflammation and other things. There's these positive changes associated with the gut microbiome. But I think most obviously, what we see is people feel better, they have better energy throughout the day. They feel less kind of heavy and full in their stomach, and they lose weight. I think one anecdotal thing I can relay is, we had a gentleman about 270 pounds, ate fast food, continued to eat fast food, which we don't recommend, but he restricted his feeding window to 8 hours per day, like religiously, and the guy lost 40 pounds over 6 months. And when I saw that case a year and a half ago in clinic, I was like, wow, this is really powerful, and it sort of mirrored what some of these animal studies have been showing.
Yeah, and I think another aspect where we're seeing this as an important factor is in cognitive health, cognitive decline, and cognitive decline prevention. So we're seeing that people that fast for 16 hours a day and then stick with a whole food and high-fat diet for those 8 hours have really impressive effects on brain health. And I think we can apply that in general to brain health, but we are seeing it clinically as something to use to treat as well.
Yeah, and let's say, you're the average person, you're listening to a podcast by Rhonda Patrick, Peter Attia, whoever you're following, and you get interested in this idea of intermittent fasting, and you want to do it on your own, but you want to just kind of have a general roadmap. So for somebody, average person out there who wants to start intermittent fasting, what might be a good guideline to follow in terms of when to cut off calories at night and when to start eating in the morning, and maybe just kind of a general guideline for them?
I find most people do well with 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Of course, you can move that around, but people tend to be okay not eating until 10 and then cutting off at 6 p.m. So they've eaten within an 8-hour window of time. People always ask me if they can have their coffee before that, and I always say, yes, you can have your coffee before that, but only if it's black. So you do not want to take in any calories prior to 10 a.m.
Yep, so that's a good rule of thumb, and that satisfies a 16-hour window. Now, how many days a week would they want to do that to sort of get the optimal benefit?
Well, I would say optimal is 7 days a week, actually.
Yep.
You can apply it to all 7 days, and most people try it out about 3 days a week when they're getting started and find they even get benefit from that.
Yeah, and I'll add this, compliance tends to be really high with this, whereas if you tell somebody to radically change their diet, hey, go Mediterranean diet, you see them in 6 months, and obviously that didn't happen. Whereas this, and the studies sort of bear this out too, people seem to have a really easy time just restricting their feeding window, relative to other sort of dietary fads that are out there. And the irony is it may be more powerful than some of the other things people are doing as well, which again is why we're all very excited about it.
Yeah.
So thanks for watching our video. I hope to bring you more great content. Again, give us a thumbs up if you like the video content from today. Again, Jeff Grimm here with Megan Barnett, BioLounge PDX.